Good morning, friends. How are you this morning? Hope you're doing well. I am home alone. The boys are out running the rabbits, so I knew they were going to do that today. They've got their beagles out running them, so I knew I was going to make chili today, but at Sunday dinner, I didn't make a dessert, so they were kind of like, hey. So I picked up this zero sugar cake mix. Now, I've never made one of the cake mixes. I think I've made like the brownie mix, but we're going to try this. We're going to make a jello cake. Strawberry jello cake, jello poke cake. If you ever had one of those, I love those. I love anything strawberry anyway. So we've got our sugar-free cake mix, because you know I'm diabetic, so thought I'd try it out. Now this isn't something I'm going to eat all the time. You know, I'm trying to cut back on them desserts. Woo, I love them. But anyway, not good for me. So we're going to try it. I'm just going to make it to the directions on the back of the box. This is a yellow cake, classic yellow cake. So I've got 1 egg in here. It requires 3 because I dropped 1 egg on my counter getting it out. And I didn't want to have it leak all over my nice clean island here. Okay, so we got 3 eggs. There we go. That breakfast skillet I made the other day, they loved it. It was a big hit. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. They enjoyed that. Now, some of the best recipes are just things you kind of throw together. I gotta kind of wash my hands. I have to be careful with eggs. My face will be itching in a few minutes. I kind of have a weird relationship with eggs if you're new here. So sometimes they can make me break out and make my face itch and my eyes sweat. Anyway, how to wash my hands. All right, so we got our 3 eggs in here. We've got a 1/3 cup of oil. I imagine you could use butter. I'm just following the cake recipe on the back. Nothing fancy today. Yeah. Get that all mixed together. We've got 1 cup of water. Go. And then we have our cake mix. Grab my shears. I love my kitchen scissors. I use these continuously, constantly, every day. So keep you a good pair of scissors that are only used for your kitchen. My kids know if they cut a piece of paper with this, they're adults, they should know better anyway, that these are just for mom's kitchen. And I have meat scissors. And they know they're off limits. They know where the regular house scissors are. Get you a good pair of scissors. I'm telling you, it's not, especially as I get older, things are getting harder for me to open up. And I don't want to struggle and pull, and I just keep my scissors and just, you know. All right, so we've got our cake mix in. Oven is preheating to 325. I've got my baking pan here, and I've kitted with some Baker's Joy. I love Baker's Joy. I'm about out. I keep this on hand to spray when I'm baking. No, they don't pay me. They don't know me. I'm not famous. Nobody knows me except you. That's all I care about. All I care about is if you know me. But I do love Baker's Joy. Keep it on hand for just this because it's kind of a flour and spray rolled into one. I can remember my mom flouring stuff and she'd make me go. Do you remember those days? Always had the weirdest jobs at home. I think all the jobs she didn't want to do, she passed on to me. My mom was not a baker. She didn't bake things very often. She was more of a, what I call an everyday cook. I always categorize everybody as a baker or an everyday cook. Sometimes you have the two, but usually one succeeds more than the other. So like my mother-in-law, okay, so my mother-in-law is probably both. But my mother-in-law's baking skills, that woman can whip up a pie and it's the most beautiful perfection you've ever seen. But my mom could whip up a full meal out of scraps. Okay, so I think there's kind of, and I don't know where I fall. I enjoy baking. I don't think that I'm good at it. I enjoy the process. I think it's very relaxing. I don't think I've mastered either one yet, the cooking or the baking. I enjoy both. And I enjoy taking, I used to say when I was little, there's no food in the house. My dad said, yes, there is. But I didn't realize that till I got older, if you had a piece of meat and a potato and a vegetable, or, you know, just the basics, you could really whip up a cooked meal. Good cooked meal from just those things. So you live and you learn when you get older. When you're a kid, you don't see any quick, we didn't have quick foods at my house growing up. There was no prepackaged things at my house, which is good. I don't, you know, of course in the 70s, they didn't have the convenience of things. Those were just, you know, TV trays were just not TV trays, TV meals and all that. We're just starting out, and the pot pies and things like that. Oh, hey, do you remember, I don't know what age group you are. I think you're all around my age, maybe a little bit older. The Banquet fried chicken in a box. Oh, I always wanted my mom to buy that. And her fried chicken is 10 times better, but oh, it looks so good on the outside. Do they still sell that? I'm wondering if they still sell that. Banquet fried chicken in a box. And you put it, one time I think she bought it for me. And you put it out on a baking pan. I thought it looked so fancy when I was little. Isn't it crazy how you think about things like that? All right. Of course, I would take her fried chicken any day over that. But, you know, as a kid, it just looked fancy in that box. There's our cake, the $3.25. Forgot to look on the box. 13 by 9, 34 to 38 minutes. So I'm going to set it for 30 because I never trust the box. So I'd rather go from there. So I'm going to put it in 30 minutes. We're going to be back. We're going to work on our chili. It's chili time. So I never make chili the same way twice. I usually use the same basic ingredients. I change a few things up. Maybe the meat, maybe the beans. So this is how I'm going to make it today. Like I said, I've shopped in my fridge, my freezer, and my pantry to make the chili. Now, I will say, normally I will brown the ground beef in my Dutch oven. But because I'm going to meal prep another thing of burger, I went ahead and used a skillet because I'm going to have to dirty it up anyway. So, listen, if I can recommend a couple of things in every kitchen that you should have, one of those should be a really nice, heavy Dutch oven. Because this can be used literally for everything. You could have just this in your kitchen. It'll cook, it'll fry, it'll bake, it'll do everything. So, have you a good Dutch oven, if nothing else. This is my girl, my Le Creuset. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, because y'all know I'm not French. Anyway, here is my Dutch oven. Now, to that, I'm going to add, first let me tell you what I did. Normally, I would saute my onions and stuff, but I didn't want to get those lost, because all I have right now on hand is some green onions. So what I did was I chopped my green onions. Never have a spoon, do I? I just need to have like a spoon necklace. Took my green onions, chopped those up, and I wanted to soften them up a little bit. I know they'll soften in the chili, but I wanted them to soften up like they had been sauteed. So all I did was put them in this bowl. I put in a little bit of that hamburger grease, put them in the microwave for a minute. They're soft, they smell delicious, and it's like they had been sauteed. Easy peasy breezy. Beautiful green onions. Okay, green onions in there. Now, y'all, I'm changing it up today. I have some chickpeas in my pantry. We love chickpeas. Why not? I'm going to add them right to the chili. I don't drain that juice. Sorry, Nanette. I know you hate that. That's my cousin. She hates when I don't drain the juice. Okay, so chickpeas are in. Now, I've got my chili beans that I canned last summer. Listen, I'm going to say these were kind of a little bit more work because it was my first year canning. To me, they seemed like a lot of work. Not an extensive amount. Probably I'm just lazy, but anyway, they were so worth it. Having these beans on hand, I have used these up. I think these are the last of my chili beans. I did chili beans, kidney beans, and pinto beans. And I have used those. So next year, I know definitely I'm going to do this again. My canned chili beans. Now, to me, I would have more beans than meat. The boys are the opposite. So I kind of try to compromise. I usually do about 3 cans of beans. Now, Mason and Brock, my husband Brock and my son Mason, love chunky meat in their chili. So what I do is when I put my ground beef in, I barely break it up and just let it sit, fry, low heat, so I have bigger chunks like that. I mean, I could care less. To me, it doesn't matter, but if it makes them happy, Mama will do it. Okay, another can of beans here. Come on all there. What do y'all do with your jars once you're done and wash them? I mean, I know they have to have new rings and stuff for next year, but I'm like, where? So I've been washing them and putting them back on my shelf in my laundry room. I don't have a full basement here. I listen. That is like a dream. If I ever build a house, I'm having a huge basement or root cellar so I can store all this, but I don't have one. So what I'm thinking about doing is buying me a large plastic tote and putting my clean jars and the lids, the bands, in a large tote and storing them somewhere here, maybe out in the garage. I don't know. But let me know what you do. Maybe y'all have a basement. I don't know. I got jars everywhere. I know I'm going to be using them again, but just in the between times. Where do you store them? I've just put them back on the shelves, but I'm always afraid because they're empty, they're going to get knocked over in my laundry room. So anyway, there's the question too. All right, so we've got our beans in there. Now, I just love to use a chili seasoning mix. I'm also going to add my own seasoning, but I always buy this. I've always done it. Great flavor. This is the mild. That'll go in. To that, I'm going to add some cumin. I love cumin. Turmeric, great anti-inflammatory. I sneak that in whenever I can. It adds great flavor also. Of course, chili powder. Now, normally I would add some cayenne, but I think Elena's going to be here tonight for dinner, and she has stomach issues, so I'm not going to add any cayenne. I don't want to make it too spicy. So I'm going to add some minced onion here. Just a little bit. Even though we have those regular green onions in there, I just like that flavor. So instead of the cayenne pepper, I'm going to add a little bit of Aleppo pepper. It's a little bit of heat, but not too much. Now me, I'd make this so hot you would sweat. That's how I grew up eating chili. Because let me tell you why. My dad was a smoker for years. He finally quit. But because he was a smoker, his taste buds were dulled. So everything was always super spicy because he couldn't taste it. When he would taste it, he'd be like, oh, it needs a little bit more. And we were used to it. And I've told this story before. And Brock and I were dating. And he was at our house eating chili. And he's taking a napkin. It was forehead, poor Brock. I said, what's the matter? He goes, this is hot. But we were used to it. To us, it was normal because that's how Dad had made it his whole life. Then, once he stopped smoking, he didn't add as much seasoning because he could actually taste it. Oh, listen, and Thanksgiving with the sage and the dressing, we'd be like, please, Dad, and the poultry seasoning, please cut back. He would just pour it in. The rest of us could taste. And when he cooked it, finally, oh, his stuffing was so good, but he would put so much sage and so much poultry seasoning in. It would pretty near kill us. He was like, please cut back. And thank God, once he quit smoking, he could taste and he didn't put all those in there. But it's just funny. Okay, so I want to show you what I've done here. Let me move this big girl out of the way. Oh, we got 4 minutes left on the sugar-free cake. So these are tomatoes that I can. Now, when I started canning last summer, I didn't know about a food meal. I mean, I knew food meal existed, but I didn't know I needed one for tomatoes. So by the time I got one, my tomatoes were already done. So these are just canned tomatoes from our friend Ralph's Garden. So what I did was I put them in this fine mesh strainer, because y'all know I can't have those seeds. They will kill me. Literally, they could kill me. So anyway, I just poured the tomatoes and the juice over a bowl measuring cup here, and I just took my fork and mashed all of those tomatoes out. Those seeds are left there, and I'm left with this beautiful tomato juice. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do the other can. I'll have to wait and see once I add the ground beef. But I wanted to share with you, you know, if I had any sense, I would have had my food meal and done them at the time. But I didn't. So we've just got to work through those issues now, don't we? Okay. So here is our tomato juice. I did add a little bit of water to it also. Okay. There we go. There's our mixture. Look at that. Delicious looking. At this point, I'm going to take a sip, get a straw. I'm going to take a bite of it. Just because I want to see, seasoning wise, what I need. I haven't done any salt yet, so let's see what we need to add. Just with this broth. So good, because when I can my beans, I put salt in those, so you don't want to get too salty. So we're good right now. I'm going to bring over the burger, and I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to grab I forgot my tomato sauce, so I will be right back. Okay, while I was gathering up the rest of my ingredients to finish off the chili, the sugar-free cake is out of the oven. It was 30 minutes. So there it is, resting on its laurels, whatever that is. All right. Now let's finish off this chili and get it on to simmer. So here's what I like to do. I like to leave my burger right in the grease, and I like to take a slotted spoon and transfer it because I like a little bit of that grease in the chili. Not a lot. You don't have to do this. You could totally drain your ground beef or your turkey or your sausage or whatever you're using. This is what I personally like to do. I think it adds a little bit of great flavor back into that chili. Now see, I'm draining it, but a little bit kind of sticks to that spoon. Okay. Could get that transferred. Now, I'm also going to add a can, and I love to do this, is the diced tomatoes. I try to keep these on hand all the time with the green chilies. Or if you don't want the spice, you could do just some chunked up, even some fresh tomatoes, or no tomatoes at all. We're going to throw those in, juice and all. That's where all that good flavor is. When you can it, you know, if you can, all that good flavor's in there. You want to keep it in there. Let me give this a stir really quickly. We're about there. We're about done with the burger. Just have to stand and watch me. Sorry, I try not to keep you here this long, so you're not getting bored watching paint dry and me transferring ground beef to a bowl. Here we go. Now that we got it down like this. There we go. We've got all that ground beef now, and the grease is left behind. I'm going to keep that skillet over here because I'm going to meal prep some more ground beef here in a minute. Let me move my board. And I dropped a little bit of ground beef here. All right, can we see how delicious this is looking? This full, big pot, which is brew of chili we've got going here. Looks and smells delicious. Can you see that? All right, I've got my spoon here. It's a clean one. I got another one. Don't fret. So good. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. As it continues to cook and simmer, I will keep testing it to see if it needs any more salt or anything. I'm going to add some white pepper for a little bit of kick. All right, now comes these are strained tomatoes. I found these and I'm loving them. You can use tomato sauce, whatever you want. The whole box. Mason's friend Anthony's here. He come down. They met in college. He's such a great kid. He came down. He's spending the night with us. He just got off work this morning to go rabbit hunt with them and spend the night. So I'm going to have a little bit of extras for supper tonight. So this will all be eaten for sure. Okay, so this was a 26-ounce box of strained tomatoes. Now I'm going to add some water. We like our chili a little bit on the thinner side because it is soup. If you like it thicker, leave it thicker. All right, there we go. Listen, I just realized something. I have to lift this big boy up over to the stove. Oh! I think I'm going to put it on the back burner because I'm going to... That cake pan was hot and I forgot and I just grabbed it. But I'm okay because my hands, I don't think I have any filling left in my hands from years of working in the restaurant. Okay. Bend with the knees. And there we go. Chili has made it. Next up, we're going to finish off this cake. We got so much going on, don't we, friends? Okay, I'm going to let that cake cool for a few minutes. I'm going to actually move it over here. Let me see if that's... Put this down. Get it away from the oven or the warm stove so it can cool. While it's cooling, I'm going to go ahead and fry off my other package of hamburger that I'm going to use later on in the week. We'll be back and we're going to discuss this cake. So we've let our cake cool. I don't know how long. I kind of lost track of time doing stuff here. I've got my other 2 pounds of ground beef done. The chili's on, and now we're ready to go for the cake. We're making a poke cake, so now it's time to poke the cake. Just take a back of a wooden spoon. Poke your holes in your cake. I'm excited to try this sugar-free cake. Now, normally I would put Cool Whip on top. I don't have any, so I'm going to use what I have, which I have some strawberry frosting. Kind of defeats the purpose of the sugar-free cake, doesn't it? Okay, so here we go. We're going to poke our holes. Looks like we've done a good job there. I have some strawberry sugar-free jello. You can use regular jello, a regular cake mix. You don't have to do sugar-free. As my dad would say, don't do as I do as I say. Ooh. That was something he always told me. Because if I caught him doing something, I said, well, you do that. Well, don't do as I do as I say. So make you a cake, put you some jello in. You decide the cake. Now, we're going to dissolve this jello in this 1 cup of boiling water. Okay, get it going here. I would say probably poke cakes are some of my favorite cakes. Now, you can top this with Cool Whip and some fresh strawberries. I don't have either one, so I'm going to use probably that strawberry icing that I have in my pantry because that's what I'm doing. I'm using what I got. Now we're going to pour this on top of our cake. And it'll go down those holes. Seep in that cake. Ooh-wee. Yummy. There we go. Get it all in there. All right. And there it is. Oh, friends. I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it cool. And then I'll ice it later with whatever I decide. I've got two different kinds of frosting. I've got the strawberry frosting and I've got like this Betty Crocker stuff that you have to whip up. But I think I'm going to go with the strawberry because we're going to keep on a theme here. I think this would go great with our chili. All right, that's it for now. I'm going to go put this in the fridge and then we'll be back to give it its nice frosting. So I realized with the chili, the boys love a sandwich, and I didn't have anything left because I haven't gone to the grocery store yet. I should have went today, but you know. Anyway, we have an Amish store about 2 miles down the road from us, so I stopped and I got some Colby cheese and some turkey, and they had ham on sale for $2.59 a pound. Ooh-wee, I love going there. While I was there, I also got some butter and these little things. Brock loves these, so I got these for his birthday. They're double chocolate peanuts, and these are little mini Reese cups, peanut butter cups. He loves those. These are his favorite, so I got those while I was there for his birthday. I also discovered they had Cool Whip, so I was like, that is perfect. Didn't have any fat-free or sugar-free, but even this regular Cool Whip is 2 grams of carbohydrates for 2 tablespoons, 1 gram of sugar. So really, this is gonna be a lot better than that icing. So, and I love Cool Whip. So it worked out. Since I was already there, I went ahead and got it so I could ice the cake. Ice, frost, whatever you want to call it. Cover it with some Q-Whip. So I figure 1 slice probably has about 2 tablespoons of Cool Whip on it. Maybe a little more. Still less sugar, less calories, and less carbohydrates than that strawberry frosting, as delicious as it is. There we go. And she is ready. Ooh wee, that looks so good. And you know I'm going to do this. Favorite. It's beautiful out. This is the first time I went out. It's like 1:30. The sun's shining. It's warmed up. It's fantastic out. I told the dogs, I said, you need to get outside and frolic. All right, got to find my lid. It's over there. I'm going to put my lid on. I'm going to put it in the fridge. Chili is simmering on the stove. Everything's ready to roll whenever they get home for dinner. All right, see you after bed. So it's the best time. It's time to eat. Here's that chili. I don't like a whole lot of my chili other than just some crackers. We've got those chickpeas in there. We've got those chili beans, the kidney beans, and the spices. A little bit of kick, but not too much. The chickpeas are nice because they stay firmer than your chili beans and your kidney beans, so it gives you a little bit of a different texture. Delicious. I'm gonna have my soup. I'll be back and we're gonna try out that sugar-free cake together. Be right back. It's cake time. I'm excited. We've got that sugar-free cake with that sugar-free jello. We made that poke cake. We got this whipped topping here. I'm excited about this, y'all. I'm excited to try this sugar-free cake. Let me get me out a piece here. Perfection. Look at that, where the strawberry jello gets through those nooks and crannies. Let's give it a try. Oh. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Cannot tell that is sugar-free at all. I'm telling you, if you don't tell anybody, which I'm not going to tell anybody, they don't care either way, they're going to eat it because that is absolutely amazing and delicious. So if you're diabetic like me and you want a sweet treat, give that sugar-free cake mix a try. It's really good. This is not something I'm going to eat all the time, but once in a while, hey, treat yourself. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I banged that counter loud, didn't I? sometimes they get a little aggressive. Anyway, have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. Try out those sugar-free cake mixes if this is something you're interested in. It is absolutely delicious. I'm telling you, you cannot tell the difference at all. All right, friends, I love you. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.